See, and as I'm setting up right here, go back to 8, then I will. Yeah, that works. And like I said, it's one of those things where when you listen through it, if it's like, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense, then also we can kind of address from there. But if it's this thing where it might be complete correlation and not causation, then, just tell me to shut up and get out of my head. So the squat itself feels good, and I'm just a little, yeah. It's not. That was better. Yeah, like I didn't. Like obviously the body still wants to kind of, All right, what's up, guys? I'm Silas Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, educating on health and social well-being. Welcome to Unfinished Business, Episode 5, prep series for Carolina Prime Time. You guys, as you can see, I'm still trying to work around the strain that I have in my quad on squats. So pretty much, you guys, saw what happened in the last episode this past Saturday, and what Brad and I think happened. Even though I felt the strain or felt the pop on the second back down, we think where the actual problem came was on the top set. You guys can see the one that folded me was when I was coming down, right? Didn't have my big toe pressure the way that I know I need to, especially now I'm really emphasizing my hands, my slight sit back. I need that big toe pressure to make sure that we're trying to keep that bar over midfoot and not letting it get too far back towards the heels. And I just really didn't have that, which is also part of why my descent got sped up into the hole compared to the usual control that I have. And even on the last one, it was kind of the same thing. But basically, when that happened, because I kind of sped into the hole that way, and when the bar rolled forward, you guys can see my knees really pushed out pretty aggressively, then tried to come back in. So we think that's when the actual problem happened as far as the strain itself, and I just felt it more on the back downs once I kind of came down from the gym of the top set and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where on that day, as you guys know, I wasn't even able to do my belt squats or finish my last 2 back down sets of squats. But then yesterday, Sunday, I was able to come in here, do my usual bench workout, my usual upper body work, and I did manage to do belt squats. Just did 2 sets of 8, with just 4 plates each side, very, very light for me, no band tension at all, just to try to see how it would feel in terms of getting some of the squat movement in, and it definitely felt better than it did on Saturday. And then today, which is Monday, when I woke up this morning, it felt better than what I did when I woke up yesterday morning. Definitely still feel it, like whether I do bodyweight squats or even like a bodyweight split squat or a lunge. And like I feel it in general when I go into knee flexion, but I especially feel it when I go into deep knee and hip flexion, because where I'm truly feeling it is pretty much right here, like all in this area right here, especially when I'm in the bottom, like when I'm in deep knee and hip flexion. It's very tender right here in this area. So that's where I'm feeling everything as far as like, the sensation in my quad, and probably even a little bit of adductor going on there. But the plan today, as you guys saw, I came in and was actually on live video call with Brad, so we could kind of just try to problem solve, figure some things out, work on overall really just the positioning. And once again, like I said, what we found is just, hey, I just got to make sure I'm really when I unrack and I walk out, take the time to really find myself and root and really emphasize that big toe down. And rooting is different for everybody. There's some people where you don't really need to think about, your toe so much because you're already very naturally like doing that. Maybe you need to focus more on like heel pressure. But for me, just due to how I squat, how I'm leveraging, something like that big toe down is just a really important cue for me to stay rooted and keep good control. Have things tracked the way I need to as far as the knees going over the toes, the hips sitting back, and just feeling balanced in the hole so I can drive out smoothly. So that's what we were working on today. And I obviously felt the quad on every single rep, but the fact that we were able to work up to 419 pounds, still 2.5 kilos over the 413 we did last week, was great. Granted, I wasn't able to do like a top set of 4, but not so much not able to do it, but I didn't want to risk trying to do a top set of 4, so instead I just did 2 singles just so I can still get that intensity needed on this day. Then as far as back downs, you guys can see I tried to do 375, which is 5 kilos over last week. I didn't want to do it for 2 back downs. I just wanted to do it for 1 back down set of 5. Did the first rep. Just at that point, the quad still felt really like even more tender than when I came in, just due to taking those 419 singles. And then I tried 308 for a back down set of 5, and same thing. That felt a lot better, but I can just see that I'm not emphasizing the big toe as much because I'm always like when I'm coming to the hole trying to like deviate away from that side. And like just don't want to risk beating up too much, especially knowing that I'm going to come in and squat again on Wednesday anyway with the super light assigned tertiary day loads. But yeah, basically like that's the goal right now, right? With being at this point a little bit less than 6 weeks out, right? Because I was 6 weeks out on Saturday. It's just doing what I can. I'm not going to like pull back too aggressively and let myself detrain. I'm not going to forcibly push through things if I feel it flaring up too. I'm letting like that pain scale, right? And that pain tolerance kind of dictate what I can do. I'm very happy that I can still squat. I'm very happy that my range of motion is not being heavily restricted. You guys can see on that first set, I definitely was a little bit hesitant going into the hole with the 419, so the depth wasn't quite as clean. But with the second one, I trusted myself, like, hey, I'm good, I got it. Control and drive back up, and it was smooth overall. So really happy with that. That's a big win. Very grateful to my coach Brad for taking time to be on that call with me, so we can kind of like problem solve and work through things, and just we even time today's session so he could do that. So very grateful to him for that. And like I said, my goal is to try to really have this pretty much cleared up by the start of next week, or no later than like after the first week of next block, so that we can just kind of keep ramping and building momentum going into it. And then beyond that, it's just being smart. Like I kind of alluded to some of this at the end of my last video, but I don't think I was as clear because I was still very emotional with everything that happened. But I simply have to stop being fixated on things that I may have done before when circumstances were different, like back in 2021 or even earlier this year. Like variables are different, and like I was talking to Petrie about it, and he put it perfectly. He's like, just because you handle a lot well, it doesn't still mean that you're not handling a lot. And that's true, because I'm quick to be like, hey, at this point, I'm used to the clientele work I have. I'm very much used to, being a father and just all the different responsibilities that I have. But that doesn't mean that they're not there, right? Not to use them as excuses, but they are variables. And it's just as dumb to act like those variables don't play a role in things as it is to, just blame them completely for everything, right? Because I still have to control what I can control. But part of that is being smarter with the decisions I make in the gym. It's like, which is funny to be doing as long as I have been and be at this point where I'm doing this. I usually don't. Usually I make smart calls. I take what's there. I build that momentum. But I think with just how fixated I've been with my goals for this meet, I've been wanting things to show up in a certain way in training instead of just letting myself build and knowing that things will show up when it matters on the platform in Carolina on meet day. And that's what I have to focus on. It's just funny because it's the same thing that I literally told Petrie just a couple weeks ago when I was talking to him about how things go with him in terms of how his lifts go in training relative to meet day. So it's really just me, like, yes, let myself be the lifter. Yes, let myself feel what I need to feel. but don't abandon that analytical coach part of me that's going to help keep me grounded with stuff and with making the right calls. You know what I mean? And even though right now it's easy to be like, hey, look, the past 3 or 4 blocks haven't ended the way I wanted to, at least as far as the squat. And then this past session, especially this past primary SBD day, was not great. And it's like, oh, you got this quad strength. It's easy to just get in my head and be like, dog, this knee's not going to go the way I want. But right now, I'm telling you guys right now, I still have every intention of making sure I hit all my goals at this meet. The 700 kg plus total at 75, the 500 plus dots, and beating John Candido's 515 dots. I have not given up on any of those goals. It just means that I'm going to have to be more locked in and work around things even more to make sure that it happens. But yeah, just wanted to kind of take you guys through that, kind of give you my thoughts there, let you know what's going on with the quad. And as far as like the squats, I'll probably talk to you guys again on Wednesday when we go through the Church Day squats to give you an update with how things are feeling there. And then after that, we'll see how things start with the week 1 SBD of this new block.
All right, so check it out, guys. It is Wednesday, and I'm just showing y'all, man, we got a little collection here of these new, heavier duty knee sleeves. The VHII and Iron actually just sent me these a couple days ago. Basically, they watched my original, YouTube review where I went over the Iron Rebels, the A7s, and the Inzers, and they just wanted to send me a free pair so I could give my honest thoughts and feedback on them. So I'm actually going to be using them today for today's session. And then I'm going to use them again on Saturday because, today's weight is obviously really, really light. But they'll be good because I get to use them today, kind of break them in a little bit, and then have a real true test on Saturday when I start week 1 SBD with the next block. And then at that point, the only other sleeves I would even want to consider trying would be the new Titan knee sleeves. Just because people have asked me, like, oh, are you going to use the Ghosts and stuff like that? Everybody that I've talked to says the Ghosts are comparable to Inzers. I only want to try sleeves that I feel like there's some type of difference with them. Like with the A7s, the shape is different, right? With the Iron Rebels, they're a lot thinner, and as I told you guys, in my mind, like way too tight because you have to like size up so much for it to feel comfortable. I don't even know I still even have those. So we'll see how the VHII and Iron sleeves do. A lot of people said that they're comparable to the Inzers, only more tapered at the calf. So that's great for small calf folks like myself. But the Titans, I mean, they're showing them holding like 20, 25 kg plates. So I'm not sure that's something I even would want to use if it's like super heavy duty and like crazy stiff. And if it's something where it becomes this thing where it's like, okay, hey, I'm using these and I have to take them off after each, time. Like I know some people have no issue with that, but for me, I don't want that. But because they seem like even above like the Inzers in terms of like stiffness and stuff like that and stability from like the couple people who got them early, I might order some just so I can try them. Because at the end of the day, I like to have all this stuff and try this stuff. One, just to give you guys the information. So even if it's something that I don't really care to use, you guys can know if it'll be good for you. And then for my clients as well. I have too many clients who ask me questions about stuff like this to not, try for myself and find out. So there's that. As far as the quad, it felt a lot better yesterday. Obviously, yesterday was just bench and upper body work. But walking around, lunges, split squats, bodyweight squats, that felt a lot better. It feels pretty good today. Like I still feel the sensation, but it's nowhere near as painful, as tender as what it was Monday after squatting. So we'll see how squats go today. Hopefully it feels good. And then based upon that, Brad and I are going to, make a few adjustments based upon some things we looked at with even more training history, as well as just depending on how the quad feels. And then we'll see how things go with the next block. So yeah, we're going to get to the gym right now, see how these Church Day squats go. Just a 2x3 with light assigned load. And then we'll see how squats feel on Saturday.
Oh, you finally got those?
Yeah, they sent them in like a couple days ago. So about to test them out and see.
Well, they don't pass the eye test. They look hideous.
Yeah, they're not the most aesthetically appealing sleeves. All right, guys, so I can definitely tell they're stiff, like just setting them up. But I got them on easily enough. These are a size
small, so the same size I wear in Inzers. And you guys know I wear like a medium in the A7s. And I gave you the whole sizing chart with, you know, that actual video, which I'll have linked in the description down below as well. But yeah, we're just gonna see how these feel.
Hold on, let's try doing that, but it's when you squat.
I got so squats honestly felt really, really good. Like most pain-free they've been. I didn't feel the quad adductor area at all on my warm-ups, and I felt it just a little bit on that 2x3, mainly on the last rep. Like I would feel the sensation, but it wasn't the same sharp pain or aggressive tenderness that made me hesitate. So I was really, really happy with that. I ended up doing 150 kilos, 352 pounds, so 10 kilos less than what I would have done for my back downs on my secondary day had I been able to do it, because as you guys know, that's how my tertiary day work is determined, just 10 kilos less than what I do for my back down sets on the secondary. And the fact that I came in and was able to do that is huge. To go from not being able to get through back downs and belt squats at all Saturday to being able to belt squat a little bit on Sunday and then squat on Monday, at least 2 singles, and then come in and do some type of volume work is a really good sign. I really feel like by Saturday, when I start the new block, I'll be good to go. And worst case, if I have to scale my week 1, that's okay, because once I get through week 1, we should be smooth sailing the rest of the way through. A few things that I don't think I mentioned on Monday that we kind of like worked on and changed and determined is this. So the first thing is just a few positional things. So like I said, I actually did end up going back to rack height 9, just because even though, like I said, the new TSS racks were a little bit higher, I hit my 540 double, my best double on that rack height 9, and it was fine. I think the big thing is if I'm on that rack height, I had to adjust my grip a little bit so I can set my back correctly. So if you guys like pay attention to my setup, typically when I set my grip, I widen my hands out to where the pinky's pretty much right at the ring. What I'm doing now is just setting it to where, you know, my thumb, when it's like this part of the thumb is where the smooth and the knurling meet, and then I just wrap my thumb around from there, and instead of widening my hands out to the pinky on the ring, I literally just keep it there so I can really lock that upper back in, which feels really good. It's sitting right where I need it to sit. It's not too high, it's not too low. So that's the first thing. The second thing is in terms of my chin tuck, I'm still keeping my chin tucked, but instead of looking down excessively, I'm just making sure I look straight ahead. I've kind of gone back and forth, but after talking to Brad about it, we just feel like for me, if I chuck my chin too much, it can just make me like bias that more folded position. Whereas if I keep my head, my gaze straight ahead, which is something I have a lot of my clients do too, I can just more intuitively keep the upper back locked in and keep my elbows more under the bar, and versus them jetting back behind me like it did on that top set from Saturday. The other thing is my stance. As I told you guys before, it's a balance of not letting myself be too close or too wide. And when I went back and looked at the top set, it's like, yep, I let my stance be too close again. So I'm widening it out. But the thing is, I'm like, okay, if I just step out and just step my stance out as wide as what I can comfortably, I'll be where I need to be. Because to get any wider than that, which would be detrimental, I have to force it, right? So just walking out, letting my stance be as wide as what it can naturally with the weight, puts me in a really good position. So I'm really, really happy with that. And the best part is with that wider stance, it's a lot easier for me to just naturally feel my big toe and drive it into the floor. So now I can still hinge, I can still sit back appropriately, let the knees track naturally, but I don't feel like I'm thinking about so many things. It's like I set my stack position, I walk it out, I brace, I feel the pressure in my heels and my toes, and I just squat. Depth feels really good. You guys saw all the different angles I took. Made sure I had my friends watching me, tell me, hey, don't BS me, let me know that depth's good with this wider stance, and it was good to go. So I'm really, really happy about that. I have no complaints in terms of how today went, and I expected the quad and the adductor to just keep getting better every single day. As far as the Village hidden and iron knee sleeves, these were good. These were good. Like, the best way I can put it is they are, like I said, they pretty much feel like the Inzers. They don't feel as aggressive in the back of the sleeve just because this part isn't as aggressive as what the Inzers are, so you shouldn't feel like they're cutting in the back of your leg the way a lot of people do with the Inzers. And as far as how they feel very similar to the Inzers, and they're the same like overall shape as the Inzers, just a more tapered calf. That's it. As far as if I like them more than the A7s, I can't say that for sure. I have to like I said, I'll test them again on Saturday. I think what I said, like what I like about the A7s is also the cone shape and the way it conforms the leg due to the cone shape. That feels really, really good for me personally. But I have some clients where they aren't a huge fan of the cone shape. So for those people where you're not a huge fan of the cone shape, but you don't like how the Inzers are a little bit looser on the calf, the Village Hidden Iron sleeves are probably gonna be perfect for you. So right now, if I had to rate them all out right now, I'm still putting A7 at the top like I did in my review video. I'll probably put Village Hidden Iron and Inzers neck and neck, honestly. Then the Iron Rebels would be, you know, at the very bottom still as of right now. So yeah, that's my review as far as that. I'm gonna go ahead and just get through the rest of this workout, and then I will talk to you guys on Saturday. Well, hopefully the quad is feeling even better with the start of the new block, and we'll go from there.
Oh, come on. Yeah!
This one's for my youngest going to school and corner niggas. Don't get caught up in that box and corner nigga. Times change. It's feeling like live niggas versus corny niggas. They build more jails and warning niggas. Shots fired. Mama crying, traumatizing they morning niggas. Them cops killing us like it's wrong with niggas. It's wrong with niggas. I just got so many years at that corner store. Man, I spent so many years at that corner store. I see my niggas disappear at that corner store. We was dead at that corner store.
Shout out Yanni and That Strength Apparel.
And you know, use that discount code.
And yours is Liz. Use the code TheSwolefessor.
You already know.
All right, guys, so just finished up squatting, and
I'm a little emotional because I'm really, really happy. But before we get into that, final review of the Village Hidden Iron knee sleeves. These are good. They're very high quality sleeves. I really feel like in terms of these, or the A7s, it's just gonna come down to if you prefer the shape of a traditional sleeve, or if you like more of the cone shape of the A7 rigor mortis. If you like more of the cone shape because you like the way it feels on the leg, then you're gonna go with A7s. But if you like more of like the shape of a traditional sleeve or like the Inzers, but you just want it to actually conform to the leg better and have like a tapered part on the calf so it's not too big on the calf, then go with the Village Hidden Iron knee sleeves. And once again, if you have a leg shape to where the Inzers fit on you just fine, quad and calf wise, then there's no need to get a new sleeve at all. But for those of you where you love the Inzers but you just wish it fits the leg a little bit better, whenever you wear an Inzers, just get the same size in the Village Hidden Iron knee sleeves and you'll be good to go. These are very high quality. They feel just like the Inzers, just more tapered to the leg. So yeah, those are my final thoughts there. I'm very happy about squats today, man. Like on all of my warm-ups, I pretty much, no, not pretty much, I felt zero pain, no pain at all. The only set where I felt a little bit of sensation warming up was with 3 reds. It was more like a slight sensation because I let myself shift a little bit more than what I needed to. But on the 419 last warm up, didn't feel anything. On 468, which is 2.5 keys over what I started last box week 1 with. No pain, no issues. And then on my back downs, on the first back down I showed you guys, I felt like just the slightest sensation. But then on sets 2 and 3, because you guys know it's usually a 4x4, but it's week 1, so we pull everything back by a set, 3x4. On sets 2 and 3, I felt nothing. So very happy about that. I told you guys, if I just stay focused on, rehabbing properly and everything like that, I would be good to go within a week, 2 weeks at most. So very happy. Rocking the integrated strength shirt. My coach's brand, because just so grateful and appreciative of him and the support he's given me, like always, but especially throughout this week. I'm not a very high maintenance client where I need a whole lot on a day-to-day basis necessarily, but whenever I need to talk, vent, problem solve, he's been there for me and I appreciate it so much. But yeah, I'm just really, really happy with where squats are at, because so long as I do what I need to do the next 5 weeks, which I already have everything laid out in terms of like my my attempts that I plan to hit for the next 5 weeks on my SBD days. I send it to Brad. I even send it to Bria so they can keep me accountable. I'm not going above these numbers because there's no need to. I don't need to force anything or push anything. I need to build momentum and get the strength going where it needs to be so I can perform and show up and hit what I need to hit come meet day in 5 weeks of Carolina prime time. And really, I can't remember if I covered this early in the video or not, but the only thing that we adjust programming wise is, the top set of 4s on the secondary day, we're going to be a top set of 5 now, still keeping the same intensity zone. Instead of having 2 back downs to 5, we're doing 2 back downs to 6. The reason being is because I looked through a bunch of training blocks, and when I hit my 490 PR set of 4 on my primary squad day post nationals, when I hit a 507 PR set of 3 going into the Crutch Strength Classic, when I hit my 540 single going into the Crutch Strength Classic, when I hit my 518 PR triple post Crutch Strength Classic, my 529 PR double, my 540 PR double, right? I was doing 6s on my secondary day. The top set was sometimes we go 6, sometimes it was 5, but the back downs were always 6s. And whether it's a thing where it's like a rep sensitivity thing, or even just that extra rep just gives me that last little bit of stimulus I need, or even if it's just something where it's like doing the 6s just makes me feel more spring out the hole because they're a little bit lighter, but I have to focus on keeping tension in position to really drive out the hole for that many reps. Whatever the reason is, we can see it clearly that, okay, every time I've been doing 6 on the secondary days, the primary day shows up better. So we already know about the intensity zone on the top set for the secondary days. So now we're just back down to the 6s to make sure that everything is covered programming wise. My technique feels amazing. That's the biggest thing with the wider stance. I don't have to try to fight to find the big toe pressure. It's just naturally there because I just feel more stacked with that wider stance. Once again, not too wide, but not let myself get too close. And then still emphasizing the slight sit back to make sure I'm hinging and then letting the knees track into the hole and just fighting to keep complete control of the movement all the way in the hole. You guys saw there was no deviation of speed. It wasn't something where I start slow and speed up or start fast and slow down. It's just the same pace all the way in the hole. Hit depth and then a smooth reversal. So I couldn't be happier, man. There's nothing left to do but just continue to work and build and execute all the way up into the meet. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's it for this video. Not going to show you guys the rest of the SBD day. It's week 1. It's going to be calves. It's going to be chill. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see what my top sets look like. But yeah, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go and comment down below. Let me know what you did. If not, leave a comment down below. Let me know why I can get better. Like the video, share, subscribe. Keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch you guys later.